everyone, and welcome once again to the Bobby Cremins Show. I'm Steve Cooney, sitting in for the inimitable Nate Ross, who is off somewhere in the country doing some college basketball for one of the networks. Joining me, of course, is the man who lends his name to this venture, Coach Bobby Cremins of the College of Charleston Cougars. Coach, a nice week for the Cougars. You had 2 wins, one here at home and one on the road, but it was not an easy game in either instance.
No, not at all. You know, I've said this so many times, Steve. When I first came back to coaching 4 years ago, there was no balance in our conference because Bobby McKillop's Davidson Wildcats and Stephon Curry, they just dominated our conference. And of course, since Stephon turned pro after his junior year, there's now more balance in our conference, and that's great for our conference. So there are no easy games in our conference. So when you play at home, it's like playing tennis. You want to hold serve. When you go on the road, you better be ready to play. And as Steve alluded to, we had 2 tough games. The first game, Appalachian State, 2 great offensive players. Sims from Appalachian, of course, Godlock from College of Charleston. And a lot of people came expecting a shootout, Steve, but instead it turned out to be a defensive game.
You know, you talked about it as well, the fact that the conference games are like a minefield now.
Yeah.
Both of these games on paper maybe should have been easy.
Well, you know, to back up my point, you got to look at 2 teams right now playing so well, Furman Paladins, and give Jeff Jackson tremendous credit. And then, of course, Citadel, Chuck Dreisel, they have bought into that system. And Citadel and Furman, they're playing some great basketball right now.
All right, let's look at the highlights, Coach.
Okay. Steve, Appalachian came in here as one of the best offensive teams in our conference. Here you see a great penetration and kickoff to our low post. Great play by Donovan Monroe and Jeremy Simmons. There you see Willis Hall avoids the charge, and Andrew Lawrence coming off the bench gives us a big 3. Again, I talked about 2 great offensive players. How about that pass? I love that. 2 great offensive players. 0-0. You're going to see him in a second against this guy, Drew Godlock. And see what I love about Drew there, Steve? He's giving up the ball. Great pass to Willis Hall because people are keying on him. They see a rebounding Appalachian kick out. Here he comes. Donald Sims. Hello. You got to find him on the transition. One of the great scorers in our conference, leading scorer, like Godlock here at Appalachian State. Again, we thought everybody came expecting a shootout, and it turned out to be a defensive war because why? Because we were keen on Sims, and they were keen on Godlock. But you got to play those other people. Nice. We call that up and under by Jeremy Simmons. Nice move there by Jeremy. Again, you know, Appalachian, beautiful pass. I just can't say enough about the passing. When I watch passing like this, it really excites me, Steve. There he comes again, and we scouted that play, and we still couldn't stop it. There you see another great scorer handing off for a great assist. You know, it's incredible, some of the senior scorers we have in this conference. And you got to pick him up a little bit better than that. And, you know, Andrew Lawrence coming off the bench right now. He's what I call our John Havlicek. Steve, you remember Havlicek?
Absolutely.
One of the great players in NBA, and of course, he's just he was the 6th man for the Celtics. I love that move. I love Jeremy. What I love about that, Steve, his body's under control. He's not all over the place. And now you see Donovan getting the penetration. Watch Donovan penetrate. Look at that. Look at that penetration. He is such a tough kid. He's not shooting the ball great right now, but he just stays with it. Good ball movement. And Antoine Wiggins with a big 3. We need Antoine to score some buckets. We need to get Antoine involved. Turnover by our sophomore Andrew, and here comes Sims. And look out. Look at that. Look how clever he is.
A Conference Player of the Year last year.
Yes. You know, and now you see Godlock, and you know, 2 great offensive players. You know, it's you know, great spectator game. And there you see our freshman, and I call that a beautiful jump stop move. Trent Wiedemann, good ball movement, trying to go inside, right there. Beautiful left-hand hook. Now I love that move. That was almost unstoppable.
Great game for Jeremy.
Yes, and Godlock was missing. Antoine with a nice tip in. They see Drew, great passing. Look at that. Beautiful. You know, that's what we need out of Antoine Wiggins. See, this was one of his best second half. Look at that pass. Monroe to Wiggins. Give Donovan Monroe a great assist there. And we go on for a really good home victory here. And now we got to go on the road. A team that is struggling, but a team that is young. They have a young coach. I know him very well because he was the associate head coach.
Jeremy Simmons gets you going again.
Yep. At Georgia Tech, Charlton Young, dangerous team. Great rebound by Willis Hall. This team has come close, and they're young. They just have not gotten over the hump, and they were looking for a win. And this is a tough place to play. Look at Andrew Lawrence. Great anticipation, great pass, great finish by Trent Wiedemann. You know, this is first half action. And we're going to go into the locker room with a 6-point lead. It looked pretty good. Nice pass. Godlock again. Look at the rebound by Wiedemann. Look at that passing. Look at that. Great passing. And not only he got, that's what we call a four-point play. Beautiful screen and roll by Monroe and Simmons. Now again, we're doing okay here. But Georgia Southern is hanging around. Loose ball. Now we get very fortunate there. Jeremy fights for the loose ball, gets it. Of course, Godlock, good passing. Now watch this pull-up. I love that pull-up by Monroe. He gets the bounce. And we're going to go into the second half here in a second. And great passing, great shot by Lawrence. I love the passing of Godlock. This is right before the half. And now watch this rebound by Wiedemann. Great follow-up. So we go into the locker room. Trent missed the free throw. Now we go second half, and guess what? Georgia Southern comes to play. We get off to a pretty good start. As you can see, we're up 8. But Georgia Southern is going to fight back, and we're going to make some mistakes. Antoine with a big three right there. He missed his next 2. But again, I love the passing. Now you see, we love the ball in his hand. See, what happened that time, see, the defense, they disallowed him to go to the right. They forced him left. So sometimes you got to take what the defense gives you. And he goes left and makes a great play.
And he heated up in the second half.
Now this was a great move. Godlock was overplayed, and instead of running the play, he went the opposite direction. And that was great. But here comes Georgia Southern. They get hot, and we cannot put them away.
Yeah, twice they overcame 9-point deficits
they actually
in the second
took the
half.
lead. They took the lead by 1. I love that. I love when he uses the backboard. And again, what direction did he go there, Steve? Left. They're forcing him left. Look at him. Force him left. And that's in scouting reports. But Drew Godlock, he can go left and he can go right. Now watch his pass. How about that? I can't say enough about that. Just a beautiful pick and roll. Again, what direction is Godlock going? Left. Now we go up 7 here. I thought we had control here, but we don't. Georgia Southern's going to make a great run, and we're fighting for our life. Again, which way they forcing them? Left. And watch this move. Watch, what a move. I'm fortunate to coach a player like that. Again, double team there. He gives it up, gets it back. Look at that. Look at that. Fake left, fake right, goes left. Now this was a game rebound.
Yeah.
Because it was a 2-point game here. And Willis Hall gets that rebound. Drew Godlock gets fouled, makes it 2 free throws, and now it's a 2-possession game. And we go on for a hard-earned road victory.
Well, Coach, our AT&T Play of the Week comes from last Saturday's home game against Appalachian State. And I kind of think you're going to appreciate this one because it features 2 of your big men combining to create some pretty nifty offense. The play takes place late in the first half with the Cougars looking to add to a double-digit lead before intermission. Antoine Wiggins finds Jeremy Simmons and threads a beautiful entry pass into the low post. Simmons fakes right, spins left for the hoop and the harm, and extends the college's lead to 13. This play was really made possible by that picture-perfect left-handed bounce pass from Wiggins into Simmons. And then the great finish by Jeremy after his foot fake gives him the space he needs to get into the paint. Antoine showed great patience up top, waiting until Simmons got in front of his defender and was able to take the entry pass. Jeremy did the rest with the fake, the spin, and the scoop for the hoop, and it all adds up to make this our AT&T Play of the Week.
AT&T covers 97% of all Americans. Rethink possible.
Welcome back once again to the Bobby Cremins Show and Cougar Conversations. And this week, we're very happy to have with us Trent Wiedemann, a freshman on the basketball team this year from the Atlanta area, the Coach Cremins area of the world. And you were just telling me before we did this that you saw a lot of his games growing up when he was coaching at Georgia Tech.
Yeah, I did. I used to love going to the Georgia Tech basketball games. That was one of my favorite things to do.
The Thriller Dome, right? Isn't that what they called it?
Mm-hmm.
And Mark Price, of course, and a lot of the great players there. And your mom played at Georgia Tech when Coach Cremins was playing. Not to say Coach Cremins is old by any stretch of the imagination, but what do you remember about those games and the atmosphere of that place?
I just remember thinking how much everyone loves this coach. I mean, I was at his last game and everyone kept chanting Bobby the whole time, and I just went, everyone must love this guy.
And your mom, I'm sure, told you stories as well when she was a student there at Georgia Tech.
Yeah,
playing.
she did. She always talked about how, crazy he was and how just how much of a nice guy he was, too.
And this place hasn't gotten the atmosphere yet because of break and all. We just started the season, but I'm sure you've been told by your teammates this place can get just as nuts.
Oh, yeah, I heard that. I wasn't at the North Carolina game last year. I wish I could have been, but everyone just said it was just insane.
Well, if you don't know and you walk in the locker room, and I'm sure you've seen it 1,000 times as you walk in the locker room, there's a huge picture of the last shot that went in to put it into overtime and the atmosphere of the place, and there's not an empty seat in the building.
No, there's not. It's cool to see how much everyone here just really supports the team and everything. It's really cool.
And you will trust me, you'll be a part of many, many games for many, many years in doing that. If you want to win a trivia bet, next time you're watching Trent play in a basketball games, poke the guy in the elbow next to you and say, what do you think he's majoring in? Guaranteed they won't know. Tell people what you're majoring in and why.
I majored in Spanish. In high school, I went to Mexico a few times, and I like speaking Spanish, and that's one of the only subjects I did good in high school, too, so I figured I might as well.
That's a good idea. And there's a rumor going around that isn't confirmed yet, the College of Charleston basketball team going to Mexico next year for a basketball tournament, so you'll be ruling the roost down there. You have a year of Spanish under you.
Yeah, I'll have to practice some of my Spanish while I'm there.
So that's an easy trivia bet to win in the stands when you're watching Trent play this year. Just say, punch the guy next to you, what do you think he's majoring in? Business, math, economics. No, it's Spanish. But that's great that you're doing that. Talk about the season so far, not specifically, but generally in that you've started maybe one game, but you've played in every game. What do you look for sitting on the bench? Because you know you're going in. You're the first guy going in. What do you look for to get ready so when you're in there, it's nothing new? You've watched the game for a couple minutes.
Yeah, I really have to watch who Willis and Jeremy are guarding, see what moves they usually make, how to guard them, and if they're crashing the glass really hard, if I really have to box them out.
No, you always have to box somebody out.
I always have to box them out. But some people just kind of stand there, and
right.
You can tell I'm going to get the rebound every time.
And let's go back a little bit. I know we're jumping around the high school. Your high school coach, when he was at a school before yours, coached some big-time athletes that are now all in the NBA. It's got to give you some good feelings about the future. El Farik Aminu, you were telling me the other guys that went on the Sixers?
Jody Meeks plays
right.
for the 76ers, and Gani Lawal, he went to Georgia Tech and plays for the Phoenix Suns.
That's Coach Eddie Martin. So obviously you were taught well by a man that knows how to teach the fundamentals of the game.
Yeah, he's a great coach. He helped me out so much. I improved my low post game, my boxing out, just everything, my whole game because of him, just working with me in the off season.
Well, I don't know if Coach Martin did this or Coach Cremins did this, but the thing that impressed me at Maryland, at North Carolina, you didn't look like it was a big deal. You just looked like, hey, I'm out here playing with everybody else. Especially the dunk in North Carolina, that was big.
Yeah, I surprised everyone with that. I think I even surprised myself a little bit, to be honest.
Wait, did you feel like I'm in the ACC, I'm playing in the ACC, or it's just another basketball game?
It felt like just another game. I mean, before the game, I was really nervous, especially at the Maryland game, with it being the first game. But one thing that really helped me out is Drew Godlock just grabbed me and said, nothing to be nervous about, just play your game and you'll be fine. And that helped me out a lot.
It's not bad when a guy that can throw in 20-plus a game tells you that. All right, now I heard a rumor, I don't know if it's true, about a nickname you had in high school, the Freak or something.
Yeah.
Explain what that's all about.
It's actually started by one of my friends who was kind of messing with me a little bit. I have a really big shoe, and he said that I belonged in the circus and that I was a freak. And I was kind of upset about it first, and then it kind of got to a basketball thing, so it just kind of stuck with me, and then I like it now.
Oh, it's caught on here as well?
A little bit. Some people, they say the freak. That's you
That's
like
not a
that?
good thing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm used to it now, so yeah, I like it.
That's great. Well, Trent, you've had a great beginning of your career. You can have a great 3.5 years to finish. Best of luck to you this
Thank you.
year and all the season to go. Trent Wiedemann with us on Cougar Conversations. We'll be right back with a whole lot more of the Bobby Cremins Show right after this.
Welcome back to the Bobby Cremins Show, and it's time right now for our look around the NCAA and a look ahead to next week's opponents, brought to you, of course, by Piggly Wiggly. And, Coach, let's check your opponents first. The schedule does not get any easier. You've got very tough games coming up. You're into Davidson for a game on Saturday, and that's always tough. And then, of course, back home to maybe face the toughest opponent you'll face all year in the Wofford Terriers, coming back in here to the John Kress Arena.
Yes, Steve. Again, early in the show, we talked about balance in our league, and I'm so happy that we have balance. It makes life tougher, but it's good for our conference. And, of course, Bobby McKillop is the dean of our coaches in the Southern Conference and one of the great coaches in the country. They're struggling a little bit, and they went against a hot Citadel team, one of the hottest teams. But Davidson's always a tough place to play, and Bobby McKillop will have his team ready. And then we come home, and as you alluded to, the Wofford Terriers, the defending champion, and they were upset last week by another hot team, the Furman Paladins. So what this means is we're getting more and more balance. So, we're getting into the second part of our conference play, and we all know each other very well. We're all trying different things to stop this player or that player. So it's going to be tougher and tougher. But again, the balance is there. As we all know, the regular season winner gets an NIT bid before we go to the conference tournament championship held in Chattanooga. And we all know the winner of that gets a ticket to the big dance.
You mentioned the fact that the Davidson Wildcats are having a bit of a tough year, at least by their standards.
Yeah.
But they've still got some players that you've got to be aware of.
They're always a dangerous team. Again, I have great respect for Bobby McKillop. And again, when I first came back to coaching, I had no idea who Stephon Curry was, and I had no idea how good Davidson was. There were a few times I said, wow, I wish I was back at Hilton Head playing golf or tennis. Stephon Curry. But I recognize, having coached a long time, it's not hard to recognize a greatness and a great team. And I recognize, probably around the second year, I recognized that Bobby McKillop had a great team. And, people said, Bobby's always talking about Davidson. Why don't you talk about College of Charleston, which I did. But I was glad to see Bobby McKillop and his team back me up and winning one basket of going to the Final Four. Yeah. And Stephon Curry becoming first team All-American. I mean, what a year it was for the Southern Conference, and what a year it was for Davidson. So, you had these highs, you had these lows, but Bobby McKillop knows how to win.
Then you look at the Wofford Terriers, and, I mean, they've got 3 or 4 guys who are good enough to be all conference.
Well, don't talk to me about their inside game. I mean, Mike Young, they took advantage last year, the first post Stephon Curry year without Stephon being in our league. They were sensational last year, Wofford. Just so tough, the way they get the ball inside. And we always have great games with them. And it should be just a fantastic Southern Conference game.
Noah Dahlman, maybe one of the smartest basketball players you'll ever see.
People ask me about these great players like Drew Godlock, Sims, Dahlman. How do they find our league? And Steve, the way they do, Dahlman was undersized. People thought he wasn't big enough, wasn't tall enough to play in a major league. He's out of Minnesota, and a lot of people just figured at his height he's not that good. And that's how you get overlooked. And he was overlooked. Stephon Curry was overlooked. Sims, Godlock. And when we find young men like this, it's just so wonderful for our conference and for our respective teams. And Dahlman is a treasure. He has great hands, and he can score inside against anybody.
Then you look around and compare these guys to other players around the NCAA who are having big years. You look at that young man out at Brigham Young, Jimmer Fredette. I mean, this This kid is phenomenal, but I don't know that he's that much better than some of the guys you face.
He is. BYU's having a special year, and he's from upstate New York. And, we talk about sleepers. Jimmer Fredette was not highly recruited. He reminds me a lot of Drew. He's big, and he does a lot of things similar to Drew. He has range. He can drive. He can pass. He's a great player. I would love to see Godlek and Fredette go against each other.
Well, maybe somewhere down the road we'll get a chance to witness that kind of a matchup. Who knows how the season is going to unfold, but I know it doesn't get any easier for the Cougars from here, because after they go to Davidson and come home to face Wofford, there's even more after that. They've got Furman coming in, and the rest of this conference season. It just shapes up to be a great finish to this Southern Conference season for the College of Charleston Cougars and for the rest of the league. And personally, I can't wait to see how it all unfolds. We've got a whole lot more coming up on the Bobby Cremins Show before we say goodbye for this week. So don't go away. We'll be right back after these messages. Well, that about wraps it up for this edition of the Bobby Cremins Show. Thank you very much for watching. As we look ahead through the end of January and on into February, it shapes up as a pretty exciting finish to the College of Charleston basketball season. First of all, we've got those 9 SoCon conference games remaining. They're always tough, always exciting, and almost without exception, always meaningful. Then later in February, coming here to the Carolina First Arena, we've got the ESPN Bracket Buster game. We don't know yet who the opponent is going to be for that one, but you can bet on one thing. It'll be the kind of game that College of Charleston basketball fans are going to want to be here to see. We don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, though, because we do have a big week coming up, as Coach alluded to. First of all, we traveled to Davidson for a big game on Saturday, and then next Thursday we are back home here at the Carolina First Arena to the defending SoCon champion Wofford Terriers, and that's going to be a dandy. That's it for this week, though. For Coach Bobby Cremins and Nate Ross, I'm Steve Cooney saying thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you back here again next week on the Bobby Cremins Show.